Welcome to Between State Lines.
Welcome back to Between State Lines, episode 88, and Steff has a haunted doll named Frank behind her, and if he moves, we will see it on camera, so just keep in mind, Frank, we won't judge you. We love you.
Frank is over here with the damn it doll.
This week, I thought about doing a political corner, but I was like, you know what? This is a fucked up world right now, and I'm tired of this, Grandpa. Gas is getting more expensive. We're sending apparently more troops to Iran. Trump eased sanctions on Russia. Like it's just it's
I
it's
am getting
exhausting.
like recruiting things from Indeed.
For the military?
Yeah, for immigration,
Really?
like left and right. Yeah, like near daily.
Oh my god! To work for immigration?
Yeah,
Oh man,
yeah, they want me.
fuck that! Fuck
Yeah,
that! Absolutely not. But unrelated to anything political, I had a really funny story. So I was working today, and I realized there's like 2 o'clock, and I hadn't eaten lunch yet, and I had an hour left in work day. So I went downstairs, and I went to turn the oven on, and in the oven was a sheet pan full of water. My wife was like soaking it to like get the oil off it or whatever. There was a reason for it. It was a logical reason, but to describe it as a sheet pan full of water. And so I go to move it out of the oven, and like being very careful not to spill it. And then I don't know what happened between like the 5 feet in the oven and the sink, but it started tipping and it started spilling, and then the whole thing went all over the floor. I don't know why. Like once it started spilling, I couldn't stop leaning it towards that side. It just all
you know what? That it happens to the best of us. Because this also happened to me today. Not the exact same situation, but worse. I used my upholstery cleaner on my bed for a second round. And last time my daughter had to help me. This time, same situation, didn't get it much better, but did something. And so the gross water went to go dump it out. Forget about the little whole thing that's in the tank and just spilt a bunch of dirty, nasty water all over.
Oh,
Right
that's so
next to
gross.
the toilet.
Yeah. You know, when I had the groundhog in the front yard, and we'd have the same kind of upholstery cleaner thing, and you have the soap tank and then the dirty water tank. I would take the dirty water tank and I would just like dump that dirty shit water or whatever you want to call it in the groundhog's hole, hoping it would like make him mad. But he probably liked it, honestly.
Probably.
He was like, yummy, 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 cleaning my tunnel.
Yeah. You're the best, homie.
That reminds me though, one time we used to have like 3 litter boxes in the house before we got the automatic cleaning one, and I would carry them downstairs to avoid making noise to wake my daughter up at night. And there was one like that you have like the lid on the top and it just clicks out. And I was carrying it down the stairs, and apparently the lid was not in all the way. And as I was carrying it, the lid popped off, the bottom fell out, and litter, like shit, piss, litter, all over the stairs at like
Yeah.
1
No.
a.m.
That's the worst. That's the worst. Litter is
Yes.
so gross.
I had to vacuum it in hopes my daughter did not wake up, and she didn't wake up at all. Somehow she did not hear the vacuum running. But I was just
Miracle.
at 1 in the morning vacuuming up shit litter that I spilled.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. Talk about awfulness. So we'll go from the shit corner to the beef corner, and it's a very short list. It's the usual people. Fuck you, Trump. Fuck you, this administration. Fuck this country for not spending money on infrastructure to make us the leaders in electric cars. Like, fuck. Like, not just electric cars, but electric power in general. Because, like, we are getting fucked right now. I would love to own an
Yeah.
electric car, but I can't.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Right now, gas prices are insane.
Fucking crazy. And Trumpers are like, oh, well, we didn't say anything when Biden had prices this high. Well, because Biden didn't fucking cause a war to get the
They
prices
didn't
this
go
high.
up this high in like a week.
Yeah, it like jumped $1 some odd cents in the last 7 days out here.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been sending you the prices and where I'm seeing them at so that you can write this data down or something.
Right.
Not going to be me.
it, yeah, it's like $4.15 where I live. It's insane. I'm sure it'll be $5 by Friday of next week.
I just want to know if the left side of the sign is different than the right side of the sign. Because if so, it changed so much in one day. Like I saw it this morning taking my son to school, and then this evening I want to say picking him up, and it was wild.
I wonder if it was like a cash price or something. In some ways, like cash price is different than credit card.
Yeah, I don't even or club member price.
But yeah, and fuck you, Subway. Fuck you, Subway.
Always.
Um, I do have to
Always in
ask.
prayer. Love us.
There's there there's there's two questions I gotta ask you. Number one, if you were given the death penalty and today was your last day on Earth, what would your last meal be? You can get anything you want in the entire world. Uh, what would it be?
Just want like a lot of a seafood buffet.
Like a specific restaurant or like just
Like
like
a
a
seafood
seafood buffet?
boil. But then I'd also like some sushi. Um, yeah, I think like a good sushi type restaurant would be perfect because then I get everything that I want. But it has to be on the coast so I can also get the boil.
I can dig that, but I feel like with the boil, you know, like crab boil, like crab and lobster boil, and like
Yeah,
crayfish or
yeah,
crawfish, whatever the fuck they call it. My issue with that is you have to like work for the meat. You have to like break them open, do all
that's
that
the fun
legwork.
part.
Yeah, but if you're like dying, if it's your last meal, like I feel like I would hate my
Listen,
last
I
hours to be.
don't want to think about it. I want to enjoy myself and all the little parts of life.
That's
Plus,
fair.
if I'm sentenced to death, like they're not out here letting me have a great time, so I'm gonna experience the food.
That's fair. That's honestly a great answer. Then okay, I get it. That
Okay,
makes
what's
sense.
your choice?
I
Cabbage?
would. Fuck you. My dying wish, just a head of cabbage. Throw it
Yeah,
some
I'm like,
water.
you know what he really wants? He's never gonna admit this, but he wants like straight cabbage. Don't even cook
Just like
it.
just throw it in like boil it for like an hour. No seasoning, just like straight plain boiled head of cabbage.
Have you seen Everything is Illuminated?
Uh-uh.
Oh, dang it. Okay, never mind.
What is that?
It's I don't know how you haven't seen this. It's like Elijah Wood, Gogo Bordello, and he's like a collector of small items. Okay, this is my really shitty summary. He is like a collector of small items and goes to, I want to say Russia, something like that, to go collect something from his family. So he's traveling there, and Gogo Bordello is like his guide. And then he has this old man who's the taxi driver, and he has a dog that he calls his seeing eye bitch, which is great because he's the taxi driver. And so Elijah Wood's telling them that he's a vegetarian, and they are like, you don't eat meat? He's like, I don't eat meat. And they're like, what? And he was like, you don't eat this? And they're like just like naming stuff off, and he's like, I don't eat meat. No meat. And he's like, is there any just like vegetables? And he was like just like could not fathom that he does not eat meat. And so they just bring him out like just like a whole potato. It's just like a one potato that he like goes to cut, and I think it falls on the ground or something, and then they end up cutting it up for the dog. But I don't know. It's such a interesting movie. I highly recommend it.
What is it called again?
Everything is illuminated. And Gogo Bordello, like, good music. I've seen him like in concert, and it was great. It's a lot of fun.
I will have to check it out then. I'll definitely have to check it out. Wait, what? When did it come out? What year is it?
Let's check. This came out in 2005.
Oh, okay. That was a long time ago.
Yes. They say Everything is Illuminated is a film starring Elijah Wood, Eugene Hoots, and it's based on a novel about a young Jewish American man whose journey to Ukraine to find a woman who saved his grandfather from the Nazis during World War II.
I feel like I've heard of like the book, but like it sounds familiar, but I definitely have not seen the movie.
Yeah, the story follows him as he hires a rap-obsessed local, Alex, and his grandfather to guide him in the exploration of family history, memory, and the legacy of the Holocaust.
I'm just curious if actually everything.
You should look up the potato scene, though. Like, if you don't watch the movie itself, look up the potato scene.
Okay, I recognize the poster. Like that poster. I recognize.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will add that to the list. But my real final meal will definitely be sushi, 100%. It'd be a bunch of rolls, a bunch of raw rolls, a bunch of nigiri. And I would probably get a burger from a place back in the East Coast I used to always go to. It was like a black and blue burger, so like blue cheese and bacon, and it was so good. I know your face says it sounds disgusting, but trust
No,
me.
I even in the parts of my life that I freaking loved blue cheese, when you have too much of the crumbles, it's just too much.
Oh, I completely agree. I can't have it in salad. It's like if it's in salad, it's way too overpowering.
Yeah, I like the dressing. Don't put the crumbles in too. It's too much.
Too much.
Yeah, if the dressing has some in it, that's fine. But yeah, like the fresh ones, God, it's just overwhelming.
And I probably also would throw in a Costco pizza, because Costco pizza is delicious.
I almost brought pizza to eat on the podcast.
Costco, I say this all the time. Costco pizza is so underrated. As far if you can
$10.
$10 for a large,
It's
I
huge.
feel like I feel like if you're gonna count them as like a big chain because they're they have a lot of stores, I would say of the Pizza Hut, Domino's, Papa John's, Little Caesars, they are way better than all of those. Like,
I don't think they can be in the same category because, first of all, they serve slices. That's their main deal. You can order ahead on your full pies or you can sit there and wait, but it's hot and ready slices. And fuck you, Little Caesars. They should have been there. You know what? Rewind. Fuck you, Little Caesars. Your pizza's never hot and ready. How
no,
dare you
they're
claim that? Not ever. They give me numbers now. If I go order, they don't even tell me. They don't even tell you at the register. Oh, you're going to be waiting 15 minutes. Oh, really? Me? I'm going to go to Domino's then. Bitches are faster. Shit's better. About the same price.
but when's the last time you had Pizza Hut pizza?
Oh, God, I don't even know. A long
It's
time.
it's so gross. I I got like I think it's the pan pizza. It's like the thicker crust,
Yeah.
and it was so flat and like had barely any sauce on it. It was just disgusting. It was by far they've gone downhill. I don't know what happened, but they're just pure trash now.
Yeah. There's just, there's so many good pizza options.
Yes, there are.
And honestly, my local Domino's is amazing. They're so nice over there. I told you last time I was there, somebody walked me out to my car, opened my car door so I could get in, put my pizza in, and like was like, "Bye, have a good day."
This is how you get murdered.
I thought I should tip him.
This is how you get murdered.
He did
So
tell me he was the local Amazon driver. I was like, probably come to my house a lot. My
he's
daughter
like,
did
yeah.
ask why we get a package delivered every time we leave.
He's like, yeah. I know where you live. I'm coming to see you.
I'm the coolest one in the neighborhood. Nobody's coming out to get me.
Um, if you were to commit a murder, how would you go about it?
I am not going to be talking about that here. You just go ahead and share how you would murder somebody if you were going to. Share all
I
my
would murder
best
someone.
ideas on this.
Okay, I'll tell you how I would murder someone. I would take them. I knock them out right with like a frying pan. Okay, but not like
Frying pan.
enough. Okay, maybe not a frying pan. I might. No, I definitely would. Okay, I feel like if I did it enough where they get knocked out, it wouldn't leave any DNA on the pan. So like, boom, done. And then you
You,
put the pan on like the stove, not even on the stove. You put it on like hot coals, burn off all that DNA. Done. Book it. Okay, so they're knocked out, right? They're knocked out. Then, and by the way, this is at their house. This is not at my house. This is at their house. So
why are
fine.
you going to their house to murder them?
Well,
Here, I'm thinking this is self defense.
no, no, no. Here. So here's the reason why. Okay, so I'm at their house. We're hanging out. I hit them with a frying pan. Okay, or while they're knocked out, I throw the frying pan on like some hot coals, like burn off all the DNA, and then I let it cool down, put it back in their drawers or whatever wherever they have pans. Then I've been hiding a big icicle, a sharp like stalactite icicle in
Mm-hmm.
their freezer. Okay, and so while they're knocked out, I pull that out of the freezer and like, bam, right to the temple, dead. Okay, leave them there. Okay. Also, I have gloves in my hands, so no fingerprints. I go.
Every single part of this feels like an afterthought.
No, this is this is an afterthought in the moment, but we'll recap it. Okay, don't worry, don't worry. So I take the on the way out of the house.
This is why you would get caught.
On the way out of the house, I throw the big icicle in the fire pit, so it melts down. It's gone. It's water. The weapon is gone. the blood is in the fire, it's being burned away. Okay, that's how that works. I leave. Gone.
So they're gonna find the pan.
Put away. Cleaned.
You're gonna clean that pan after it's been in the hot coals.
I don't need to clean it. I just put it on the coals to like burn off the DNA. Just like a 5 minute burn. Just like burn any DNA off it. Then I put it back in there. Like let's say they have like
I wonder if it works
a
like that.
drawer. I imagine it probably would. I mean, also you hit some of the pan. It's probably not that much DNA on the pan. Like,
Does DNA burn off pans?
and then yeah. So then you stab them with the recap. I'm at their house hanging out. All right. I knock them out with the pan. I put the pan on the fire to burn off the DNA. I put it back in the drawer to, after the DNA is burned off. Also wearing gloves in this instance. I take the uh the icicle I've created in the freezer and I stab them in the temple. Instant death, okay?
You
And then
created the icicle too? How long were you here?
well, I did this ahead of time. So like I was there like 2 weeks ago and I like I set it up to start freezing. I said, hey, I went to them and said, hey, I had this big stalactite icicle. I need to store it in your freezer. Is that okay? And they said, yeah, sure. Don't worry about it. It's fine. So I put it in the freezer. And
Who's this person you're planning on murdering?
it's somebody I met at the grocery store.
That you're gonna go to their house 2 weeks beforehand.
I wooed them with my personality, and they invited me over. Like, hey, let's have a game night. Cool.
Just
Here we
feels
go.
like you're deciding to kill off a friend. Just making sure.
If I hand you an icicle, Steph, okay, this is what's happening.
I know you do not let it freeze in your freezer. Your freezer breaks down in those 2 weeks.
What's the most desolate place in the country you think you could like put a body and never get found?
Somewhere in the desert of Arizona.
Hmm. Yeah, but then you are driving out. It's got to be like a remote place, but not so remote. Like if you get stuck in the desert, like you're also probably gonna die. But if you get stuck and you hike back from
There's
like
a lot of
the
places that aren't
woods,
like that far. Like Yuma, Arizona.
okay,
Middle of
how far
nowhere.
is that?
Middle of nowhere.
Hmm.
That's the place people live.
Yeah, but see, people live there though.
Yeah, but they don't give a shit about what you're up to either. I actually just had this conversation with a coworker yesterday. I'm just saying, it's the perfect spot.
See, I was thinking somewhere like in Alaska, in like the middle
What
of
about the
the
Grand Canyon?
wilderness.
Everybody already dies there, anyways.
Yeah, I guess, but it's such a widely visited area that like you'd have a lot of people seeing you throw a body off the cliff.
I doubt it.
I don't know. I feel like if I pulled up the body and like threw it off of the cliff, somebody would see me. There's so many people that visit that area every single day.
Yeah, but it's a big area. Because I even went to like the other ridge was closed, so I think I was at the North Ridge. Um, Stayed the night in the McDonald's parking lot, so I went up at like 4 a.m. to go watch the sunrise, and I found many of places that there were not other people around because I got to watch the sunrise like nobody was there.
Hmm.
Is worth it,
Interesting.
even though it's cold as hell.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they have literally you go to the visitor center and they have a book on like the all the different deaths at the Grand Canyon. It happens all the time. But also the desert out there, middle of nowhere. You have to go on like a certain highway out to like the area that the Grand Canyon stuff's at, and then go out another highway. Like, who's to say you just don't go out that way? Just go out some other random way.
But do you think the body would like get eaten quick enough where there's like no chance of someone finding the body?
I think you just have to find the right spot.
Interesting. Okay. Well, now we know where you're gonna dump your murder victims.
Nah, you don't know.
We'll call you the grand killer.
Nah, I would never tell you my best ideas. Not even top 5.
Okay, so last question I have for you. What do you want your what would or what do you want your last words to be?
I don't know. I think that's a mystery because I I hope I don't even know that it's my last words. Hope it's just a surprise.
So in this instance where you know you're dying,
Nope, don't
let's say
wanna.
you're go going back to the first question, you're facing the death penalty. What would your last words be in that instance?
I don't know. I don't have anything cool to say.
So I would like to be killed by aliens. And my last words would be probe me, daddy.
That that lines up so well for you. It's a good thing aliens are real, buddy.
Or sit
Dreams
on me.
can't come true.
That's either or. Probe me, daddy, or sit on me. Both are great last words.
You want to be killed by aliens.
I mean, that'd be a great way to die. Like I said before, and exploding would be a great way to die.
I guess so. Jesus. I
Uh,
don't know. Yeah. No probe me daddies. That's not on my list.
you gotta have some cool words, though. Okay, probe me, daddy, or sit on me. That's the two spectrums you have there. Either way, it's a win-win.
I hope I have fun things to say. I feel like my grandma had some funny shit to say, but none of that, nothing like that.
You'll figure it out as you get older. You'll figure out how to be cool. Don't worry.
We'll see. Like, I remember my grandma was like, I wish I wouldn't have taken up cussing. And I was like, Grandma, you've only been cussing for like 2 weeks. I think God will forgive you. She wanted to take the lady across the street's driver's license away because she said she's going to run over my grandkids.
What a lady.
What a lady.
What a lady. Okay, on to the creep corner. So I got a few stories that I pulled from Reddit, and some of them are pretty cool. The first one is by overall underscore draft underscore 9416. One of my friends' family growing up had a beach house, and I'd get invited every now and then. They had a lot of money, and the house was massive. It was a pretty cool place, too. They even had a full-time maid who had her own flat at the back of the property. One day, they go there for a long weekend, and when they open the door, the place was ransacked. It was all a mess, missing TVs, furniture, broken stuff. You get the picture. They went to check on the maid, and her flat was empty, and all of her belongings were gone. They called the cops, who came over, took a brief look, and left, saying the maid probably had something to do with it. And that's what everybody believed for a whole week. Until the dad returned the following weekend to try and change the locks. and he brought up their dogs with him. And wouldn't you know it, one of the dogs started digging and found the maid buried in the backyard under a tarp they had close to the pool. The theory is now that whoever came in probably knew her and she recognized them and she had to go. How do you not notice like a freshly dug hole?
I mean, I don't notice a lot of things, honestly.
You know, I guess it's a beach house. That makes sense. A beach house, sand. I wouldn't even realize sand was dug up.
Yeah. I just, yeah, like people dig at the beach all the time.
True. That's wild though. That is wild. I would hate to find a dead body in my backyard.
Yeah. Find a dead maid.
This next one is by The Search of the Shit or the Shite. The Search of the Shite. Shite. Don't know what that means, but I assume it's like shit, but shite.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard my grandparents say this. Shite.
Shite. The other night, my wife took our child out for several hours. In that time, I wrapped up work, left to get dinner around 4:30. Got home around 6:30, played with the dog, and did a few chores. Then the wife got home around 7:30, relaxed a bit, and I headed for bed around 9 p.m. Maybe 2 minutes after crawling into bed, I got a text from my wife with a picture of our dry erase menu board on our fridge. Usually at the start of the week, my wife will fill out a rough menu for dinners that week. I recall seeing it earlier in the day, and it was filled out as I expected it. The picture she sent me was all the menu scrambled up, like the letters were all moved everywhere, with random words and squiggles throughout. Some was in her writing, others were incomplete words, or rewritten words in handwriting that was not hers, or mine. This freaked us out, as our 1-year-old certainly did not do it. The county sheriff showed up and swept the house and found nothing. Nothing was out of place or missing either. He was a little bit spooked by it too. He said they never got a call out in the country where we are and recommended we change our locks. We hadn't, as the couple we bought our house from were elderly. So we did that night. Why would you not? Okay, going back to our story about the fucking, Prudence having the keys to the apartment. I said, change your locks then. If you buy a house, change your The first thing I did, I changed the fucking locks.
Makes sense. Makes too much sense.
I told you when we moved in here, right? We had an issue with the lights being turned on, right? Did I tell you that story?
No. I don't
So
think maybe.
maybe. So bought the house, signed it, and I was off for a few days to like do some moving prep. And I brought like a bunch of shit to the house and left it in the garage. And I went into the house to use the bathroom. And on the way out, I turned off all the lights in the house. So it was completely dark, not a single light left on. I went out through the garage, left in my car, came back the next day. All the lights downstairs were on.
What?
And there's no timers on it. There's no like, these are like 1960s light switches. They're not like, modern where they could be on a timer. Like they're no way it was on a timer. It was just literally the kitchen light, living room light, and the dining room light were all on.
So then you changed your locks right away.
Yeah. So the next day, that day, I had the locks changed, and
it never happened again.
Yeah. But I'm curious if we've since like changed the garage, like I guess like the frequency or whatever. But I'm guessing maybe somebody had the like key to the house, or because I think at time too, the garage door was different from like the front door, the different locks. So I assumed that like somebody had a key at the garage, and they had a working key fob for the garage door, and then just came into the garage and maybe like they left something here or whatever. But it was weird,
That is weird.
very odd. Yeah, change your fucking locks, guys. Change your fucking locks. Um, and the last story is by the Funkster80. I was around 10 years old. I was at school, but my mom told me she was thinking of taking me to the doctor's in the afternoon because I had a recurring eye issue. It's lunchtime, and I'm in the dining hall when the office woman told me there was a taxi outside for me and I had to go. I assumed mom booked it for me because she can't drive. I cleared up my stuff and got my bag. I was just about to leave when I remembered my jacket was in my classroom. I ran to get it and headed out for the taxi. The office lady tells me I'm too late and the taxi had gone without me. I went back to class, but panicked because my mom will be really angry at me. School finished, and my mom is waiting for me at the gates. I burst into tears, apologizing for missing the taxi and thinking I was in big trouble. She said she never ordered a taxi and had no clue what I was talking about. She ended up not making the doctor appointment. No one ever found out who ordered the taxi for me or who the driver was. My mom doesn't like to think what would have happened if I hadn't forgotten my jacket and I had gotten in the taxi.
Seriously. That shit
Yeah.
scares me.
Yeah. I feel like nowadays, like they would not. I mean, I would hope not. I don't. My kid's not in, school yet, but I would hope it'd be way more secure than like just telling the kid, "Hey, there's a car out for you out front. We're not checking their ID. We're just gonna assume it's you know." Also, guys, reminder: if you uh, tell your kids, like, make a code word with your kids to like use and give that code word to anybody who's gonna pick them up because um like don't let us like they make it so there's some kind of process the kids can identify this mystery person they don't know if you're having a random friend pick them up. I think I don't know how it is out. Can you have friends pick up kids at school? How does,
You can, but they check their ID. At least my school, like my kids' schools, are very, very on it. They are on a list. They check their IDs. Normally, we do it ahead of time, but they will take my word for it if I like call from a number that is on the form that they know is mine. So like I frequently like text my sons. And then my daughter's one, they just know me so well in person. Like if I told them in person, then they jot that down. But yeah, it feels very, very secure.
okay,
Because
good.
I've definitely had people like my son, the person that was supposed to pick him up once, had an appointment and didn't know that I meant Monday through Wednesday that they were helping me, and so they were just planning on Monday and Wednesday, and so nobody picked him up, and I was an hour away. And so, yeah, I was able to like find somebody to come get him, communicate that with the school. She went down there. They were like, make sure she has ID, not send him with any kids without properly knowing that this is the right person that we're expecting to be here for them.
Okay,
Yeah.
I
And
figured.
like, we're not even allowed in the school at my son's school. Like, they get dropped off out front, they go in through this building, but like, if we're going in the building, we buzz in, we sign in, we tell them what they're there for and where we're going.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So if anything's like amiss, then they know about it.
I feel like back in when I was in like middle school, my parents were able to just walk in and had to sign in, but like they could just freely roam the,
Right?
the halls.
Like, my mom used to bring me lunch, and I don't know that she signed in at the front. I feel like she just walked on campus and brought me lunch. You can't do that anymore.
Nope. They did not care about us back then. They said fuck security. Fuck these
Yeah.
kids.
Fuck these kids.
Fuck these fucking kids. So I asked you earlier before this creep corner the about how you would murder somebody, and you didn't tell me. So we will never know how you're gonna murder somebody. But there's a reason I asked you why or how you do
Oh.
this. Um, I have I have two unsolved murders, from different countries outside of America. This first one's from Tokyo. Um, and so I read them and I was like, interesting. And I'm gonna ask Steph how she would murder somebody. So, yeah, these are both unsolved to this day. No one knows who did it. So, the first one, like I said, just takes place in Tokyo. It is the Setagaya family murders. The story begins on December 30th, 2000, in a quiet pocket of Tokyo. And I have the pronunciations of all these names, so bear with me as I actually read the pronunciations, not like butcher it. The Miyazawa family, Miko, Yasuko, and their children Nina and Rei lived in a modern house that sat on the edge of Soshigaya Park. Because of a planned park expansion, most of their neighbors had already moved away, leaving Miyazawa the Miyazawas on an island of isolation. This detail is crucial because it provided the silence and privacy necessary for someone to enter, kill, and linger for 10 hours while the rest of the world rang in the new millennium. Um, the entry was as brazen as it was silent. Investigators believe the killer climbed in a perimeter fence and entered through a second floor bathroom window. Once inside, he moved with a chilling efficiency that suggested he had been watching them for weeks. First, he strangled the 6-year old Ray in his sleep. Um, when the father heard the commotion and rushed upstairs, he was met with a combat knife. There was a struggle, and the blade of the knife actually broke off in the father's head, but the killer didn't panic. He simply went to the kitchen, retrieved a sashimi knife from the family's own drawer, and finished the job before moving to the loft to kill Yasuko and 8-year-old Nina. What happened next is what separates this case from almost any other true crime. Most killers flee, obviously, the instant their adrenaline peaks. This individual did the opposite. He treated the crime scene like a rental property, spent the next several hours raiding the refrigerator, ate 4 small containers of melon cream soda, several ice cream bars. Curiously, didn't use a spoon. Forensic analysis shows he squeezed the containers to push the frozen treats into his mouth, a behavior that some psychologists linked to a lack of social grace, or perhaps a specific cultural quirk. It seemed that he wasn't just hungry, but he was comfortable. He sat at Miko's computer and browsed the internet for over 5 minutes, attempting to buy theater tickets and visiting the website of the company Mikio worked for. Um, but he was a digital ghost, leaving a trail of mouse clicks alongside the literal trail of blood. And there is a connection between the killings and the late 90s skating culture, which is considered a lost lead in the case. When investigators processed the clothing left at the scene, specifically the gray sweatshirt and the colorful hip bag or fanny pack, they found microscopic traces of sand and grip tape residue. Grip tape is the sandpaper-like material applied to the top of a skateboard to provide traction. This suggests that the killer wasn't a casual wearer of skater fashion, which was peaking in popularity in Tokyo at the time, but was likely an active participant who handled skateboards frequently. The sand found in the pockets of the killer's jacket was subjected to a high tech analysis known as heavy mineral distribution. Geologists found the sand wasn't from the Tokyo area. It was a specific mixture of crushed stone and minerals that matched a skate park near Edwards Air Force Base in the Mojave Desert in California. This led to a massive secondary investigation into the skater traveler circuit. Detectives hypothesized the killer could have been the child of a U.S. military family stationed in Japan or a Japanese fraternity student who had spent time in the American Southwest, soaking up the X Games culture of the era. Further deepening the connection was the killer's hip bag. Inside the hip bag, police found traces of a very specific type of fluorescent highlighter ink. This wasn't the kind of ink found in a standard office pen. It was a specialized ink often used by graffiti artists and skaters to customize their boards or to tag local spots. This suggests that the killer might have been part of the underground scene that frequented Toshigaya Park, which was a known hangout for local skaters. The park sat right up against the Miyazawa's fence line, meaning the killer likely spent hours or even days sitting on the park benches, ostensibly practicing tricks while studying the family's windows and routines. The forensic evidence left behind was a gold mine, but somehow led to a dead end. The killer left his entire outfit behind: a sweater, a scarf, a hat, a jacket, all neatly folded in the living room as if he were checking out of a hotel. He even left his Slazenger sneakers, a brand rarely sold in Japan. Despite having a full DNA profile, fingerprints, and a literal wardrobe of their clothes, the Japanese police have never found a match in any global database. DNA testing revealed the killer had a mixed ethnic background, an East Asian father, and a mother of Southern European or Mediterranean descent. Over 2 decades later, this mystery killer, remains out there somewhere and has not been caught, at least hasn't been caught and connected to this specific murder.
That is crazy. How do you stick around that much and have that many specific things? And why is it that people who do stick around tend to not get caught? At least from recent stories I've heard.
Right? They got caught. Like, this is like the last big story. They hung out in the fucking area.
Exactly.
And no one saw them. No one. And like, he left behind an entire fucking like catalog of gold mine. Like, every officer's wet dream is like a fucking like bunch of evidence, and they can't do anything with it, which makes me think that him or her definitely was not from or lived in Japan. It's probably just a traveler who.
Yeah. But how do you not
visited.
figure out who the traveler is?
Yeah.
With that much evidence.
That's probably the, like, if you're gonna be a serial killer,
Go to somewhere you're not familiar with whatsoever.
Seems
iffy to me.
You go somewhere where you're not from and don't live. But if you're gonna be a serial killer, you do it in multiple countries, because like you space it out where like, Japan isn't going to talk to, Romania, and Romania isn't going to talk to Iran. Iran isn't going to talk to Greenland. Like you do it in multiple countries, and
Yeah, but then you also
um,
have to understand the system dynamics to make sure you can even get away with that.
well, yeah, you probably spend like a month or 2 months in each area, living and working, and then like do your
It
murder.
took me a year to figure out my job.
Well, they get like, I feel like if they're gonna be a traveler like this, and especially in today's culture, like remote culture, you could like really, like my job, I can go anywhere I want and work. Not that I would go be a murderer, but like if someone had a job like mine, they could travel to different countries,
You're
stay
right.
there
They
for two
could be a
months,
murderer.
murder them, then. But you also like if you want to deepen it a little further and not get caught, as you would make your murder like a different, don't repeat the same things you did in crime scene A with crime scene B. Like there's no link between the two.
Yeah. I guess I'd also just like want to have to kill people. I think
Yeah,
that's
I
what's
mean,
missing.
yeah, I mean, just, I mean, we're not psychos. I mean, we are psychos. But, like, we're not psycho killers.
Yeah.
We're psychos for different reasons, but like not because we're. At least I'm not a murderer. Maybe you are. And that's why you won't tell us that you would do it because you are a murderer. And then
You'll just never know.
are you the Zodiac killer?
Didn't they catch that person?
I don't think so. Did they? I think you're thinking of the golden state killer.
I thought they figured out who the Zodiac killer was.
I think the Zodiac killer, like it was one where they could have caught, like they know who it was because the police stopped him and they let him go. Like they had him, they were talking to him like near the crime scene, and they just let him go. And ever since that day, they haven't ever been able to find him.
Um, this says that there is a forensic expert team that might have identified the Zodiac killer. I'm trying to look at when this was. It's from the University of Maryland Department of Criminology and Criminal Justice. But I don't see a date. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think they might have like a profile of like who he is, like an idea, like DNA and like intelligence wise, what kind of person he would be. But I think the
Um,
consensus is also he's probably dead at this point. Or him or her, they're probably
well,
dead.
then on here it says in 2021, a civilian volunteer group called Case Breakers announced that they had identified Gary Francis Post as the exclusive Zodiac killer through a combination of evidence involving shell cartridges, photos, fingerprints, cryptid writings, and DNA harvested from his old clothing and a blood relative.
Is he dead?
Mm.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know. I've heard conflicting things. I can't tell.
I think this is like one of the ones where these independent people are like, yeah, we found out who it is, and then the police were like,
Well,
okay, wackos.
I don't know. The first one I looked up is the University of Maryland. Like it's I feel like that's less likely to be some independent. I don't know. It's got to be backed up.
But I'm pretty sure he's like either way. I think he is the guy that they talked. They were not interrogating. They were talking to someone near one of the crime scenes that like was being like sketchy, and the consensus is that that was the killer. But the whatever reason, the police officer either got distracted, like got called away to the scene or whatever, but they let him go. And uh, yeah, since then, like they weren't able to find him. unless this
Yeah,
person
it does say he
is.
is now deceased.
Oh well, fuck him. If that's the guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw a. So I've been going down rabbit holes in TikTok for like police body cams, like these like crime scenes, like either a murder or like a, a grand theft auto or like a shoplifting. This one girl, she was a I don't call it girl, a fully ass grown woman. She was she ran somebody over in a parking lot because she thought they were this person that like either harmed or killed. I don't remember the specifics. Did something to her daughter like 5 years before and was never like caught or charged for it. And she ran him over, who she thought was him. And it turns out it was not him. It was a completely different guy. And like it was just a mistaken identity. And then obviously she was arrested and charged. I'm like, you like the guy lived, but he had like broken feet, couldn't work for months because he like had to be in a wheelchair. Like, how do you like? Jesus, man, come on.
Yeah, I don't understand. How do you get that emotionally charged that that's your reaction to somebody you're not even fully sure?
I can
That is
understand
wild.
vengeance. I can understand vengeance and like wanting to avenge, but like you got to be
But
right.
damn well sure that that's that person.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what makes you any better?
Has Frank moved at all?
No.
Come on, Frank.
No. He's just chilling. He likes it here.
This next story is, or the last one I have is, my notes scrolled up. It's called the Valley of Death. So on November 29th, 1970, a man and his two young daughters were hiking in the Isdalen Valley, a remote area of Bergen, Norway. The area was known as Death Valley because it was a frequent site for suicides in medieval times. Propped against some rocks, they found the charred body of a woman. She was lying in a boxer pose, arms curled as if she was shielding herself from the flames. The scene was immediately wrong. All the labels had been meticulously cut out of her clothing. Her forensic report showed she had swallowed dozens of sleeping pills, Phenemol, and had died from a combination of those pills and carbon monoxide poisoning from being burned alive. Gathered around her were an empty bottle of liquor, two plastic water bottles that smelled of petrol, and a silver spoon with the monogram filed off. The investigation took a turn when police found two suitcases belonging to her in a luggage locker at the Bergen railway station. Inside, they found more riddles, multiple wigs, several pairs of non prescription glasses, and various currencies: German, Norwegian, British, and Swiss. They found a notepad with rows of secret code that took cryptographers or cryptographers God damn it, months to break. The code turned out to be a diary of her travels. N24 Oct O 29 Oct P was shorthand for the days she stayed in different cities. N was for Nuremberg, O for Oslo, and P for Paris. She had at least 8 different fake passports. She was someone who lived in the cracks of Europe, never staying in one hotel for more than a few days, always changing her room if she felt that she was being watched. As police reconstructed her movements, hotel staff across Norway began to remember her. They described a woman in her 30s or 40s with ice blue eyes who spoke broken English and German. She was elegant but strange. One maid recalled seeing her in a hallway wearing a wig, staring intensely at a wall. A witness later came forward claiming they saw her hiking in the valley days before her death. He says she was dressed in city clothes, far too light for the Norwegian winter, and was being followed by two men in black coats who looked Mediterranean or Middle Eastern. He claimed that when she saw him, she looked like she wanted to say something. She looked terrified, but the men pressured her to keep moving. When he reported this to police in 1970, he was told to, quote, forget her. The most likely explanation for her death involves the penguin missile test. In the 1970s, Norway was a hotbed for Cold War espionage. The Isdal woman's travel dates perfectly align with top secret tests of the penguin missile systems being conducted by the Norwegian military. It is widely believed that she was a spy, possibly for Israel's Mossad or a Warsaw Pact nation, who was caught and burned by her handlers. In 2016, modern investigators reopened the case using stable isotope analysis of her teeth. The technology looks at the chemical signature of the water a person drank as a child. The results were stunning. She wasn't Norwegian. She was likely born in Nuremberg, ahead of Germany, an area of Germany, around 1930 and moved toward the French German border just before World War II. Despite having her DNA and her chemical map, no one has ever claimed her. She remains buried in a zinc coffin in Bergen so that she will not decompose, just in case her family's ever found. Yeah, so that's it. Sketchy as hell.
Sketchy as hell.
Yeah.
All this is sketchy as hell.
Like, it sounds like a suicide, but like then it's like you read, you're like, wait a minute, like she was followed by people. Like, no, it wasn't suicide. That was like more
I have
murder.
so many questions.
What was her name?
What was her name?
I think there was a guy. Should have brought this story into the mix too. There was a guy that was found, I think, similarly to this lady, on a beach somewhere, like washed up. Same kind of thing, where he like had like cryptic writing on a notepad in his pocket. I never found out who he was. Let me see if I can find that story.
I don't know why. I guess all of this, like how the perfect murder thing, it reminds me of that. Where they like hired, there's like some people hired this girl to do pranks on people, like video pranks. And one of them was like her and this other girl were going to put this liquid on this guy's face. It's gonna be ha ha ha. But then it was like this poison that it like kills you super quickly. And like they had it all over their hands. So then they did this video and then they think the job's done and then they're like gone. And then they're supposed to like go meet at some rendezvous point or whatever. And then it turns out like this guy died and everybody's looking for her. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't. But this reminds me. It's just. It reminds me of Was that a real story or a fictional?
No, I think that's real.
There was a. It reminds me. That's what I start laughing. It reminds me of the interview movie with Seth Rogen and James Franco, where they're trying to get somebody to go assassinate the North Korean leader, and
it's kind of, it does feel a lot like that actually.
remember that he has it on his hand. He's like, and he sneezes and like hits his face. And uh,
Okay, based off of what I remember, it was like this girl was from another country and she was looking for work, and so she got like found a way to make easy money doing these like online prank videos, and they would like fly them around and do tell them what they needed to do. They would do it, and then it was like they made easy money. So one of them was this like I think they called it like a perfume or something. They were gonna like put this perfume on his face, and I want to say it was at an airport.
and the guy died.
Yes.
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna use. I just use Google AI for this since there was a very vague description. So on February 13th, 2017, two women were told they were going to pull their biggest prank yet at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport. Their target was a heavyset man, Kim Jong Nam, who was traveling under a fake name. The producers gave each woman a different liquid. Unknown to them, there were two components of the VX nerve agent, one of the most deadliest substances on Earth. Um, the women swiped the chemicals across Kim Jong Nam's face in a double team maneuver and went to the bathroom to wash their hands. Within 20 minutes, he suffered a massive seizure and died in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. Is that what you're thinking of?
Yes. Yes,
Okay,
this is it.
that
Because
was
I just found
North
it too on
Korean.
MSN.
Oh, got
That's
him.
like the only place I found it.
Yeah, that was the half brother of Kim Jong Un.
Yeah, I feel like I heard it on a podcast that was like, this is a crazy thing that happened in 10 minutes or less.
Did they get charged? They they arrested and charged. Oh, okay. Let's see. Forensic experts pointed out that if they had been known, if they known they were handling the nerve agent, they never would have touched it with that gloves, as it can be absorbed through the skin. Um, and after years of diplomatic pressure, the charges were eventually dropped or reduced. One was released in 2019, and the other released shortly after. That's crazy.
Yeah. And I want to say that I heard that around like COVID times. So probably only like the year after.
I'm very surprised they got away with, like, not like got away with it, like they did not get put to death.
Yeah, especially because like they were in a foreign country.
Yeah, I think Malaysia is. Are they good? Are they good friends with North Korea?
I don't know. Like I just don't think that the girls were even from there. So like they were like in this foreign country, didn't speak the language, didn't know what was going on, just supposed to do this random thing and then go meet where they're supposed to meet.
Yeah, so they were considered pretty close allies at one point, um, but it seemed like that assassination kind of destroyed that relationship. Fuck North Korea. Okay, beef corner. Fuck you, North Korea. Fuck you and your stupid. You know that they had an election recently, for their supreme leader, and he got like 99.7% of the vote of the vote. Yeah, like as if like anyone was gonna oppose him. Okay, like good luck. He probably would die if he opposed him. Fuck that country. Well, not the country. I feel bad for the people who live there, but fuck the people. Fuck the leaders.
You're like, but fuck them anyway.
But fuck him anyways.
Yeah.
Fuck those goddamn Koreans. Good food, but awful leaders. At least in North Korea. South Korea,
Hmm?
you're okay with me. Yeah. So that's the episode. Like I said, Steph would never tell us how she would murder somebody. Which
Sorry.
is very shocking. Okay, if you had to choose, if you could make a choice and you had to choose one, you can't say pass or I'm gonna just jump off a cliff. If you had to choose between getting bitten by a zombie and getting bitten by a vampire, and I guess a werewolf, which one would you choose?
Vampire.
Good. Okay, that's what I would choose
Easy.
too.
It was the easiest choice ever. Am I dumb? Do I
I
want
would
to
get
be? Not getting bit by a zombie.
my, my last words to the vampire: "Bite me, daddy." And then I turn around and I turn you into vampire. So you're stuck with me on this podcast for the next 300 years.
And then everybody else is stuck with us.
Our chaos and our terror will know no bounds. Yeah. So next week, guys, we have an exciting guest on the podcast. We had a psychic almost 2 years ago. You were out obviously for that one, but
Yeah.
so you get to talk to this one. But she is a psychic. She does like tarot cards and like readings, but she also does talk to the dead. So be able to see people and hear people and talk to them and like pass messages on. So I'm really curious what she will tell us about stuff. So
I'm excited.
yeah,
I have no expectations.
no,
Just excited. Just excited.
just excited. Yeah, and hopefully Frank, you can ask her if Frank is a haunted doll.
The only thing that weirded me out was that Frank moved the first night. I put him in a certain spot and he moved down a shelf.
I feel like I don't know. It's you have kids, so it's kind of hard to like test it with kids.
Well,
But
that's why
like,
I asked my son, like, did you move it? Like, I didn't even ask him right away. I waited a couple of days. And then he said no. Like, and then he was like, his sister must have. Oops.
I'll let it. Oh, I'll let it out.
Man, so close.
The amount of times we name drop our kids by accident on here.
They're famous.
They're they're famous in a world they'll never see. That will never see them.
Yep.
So yeah,
Well, they're famous in our world.
they're famous in our world, but no one else will know. People are. I don't know. I just keep seeing people posting pictures and like videos of their kids on TikTok and like Instagram, like these big creators. That's just weird, dude. Don't like if your profile is public like that to the world
Yeah.
and you have like all these followers, there's a bunch of weirdos in your fucking following section. Like there definitely are. I'm sure there are weirdos in my follower section too. So, oh, did you see? So, are you aware? You know who the Duggar family is, right?
Yeah.
And you know that the one brother got arrested for like child porn, like I think.
Yeah, I knew
Like,
there were some dirt balls in that family.
so he got arrested and was charged. I think he's like in jail for like 20 years too or something. But his brother Joe was just arrested as well for the same stuff. And then his wife was arrested and charged. Like it's the usual suspects, guys. It's always the fucking people who are so vocal about trans rights.
My bad.
Got him. It's always the ones that are like opposing trans rights, LGBTQ rights, and like the hyper religious people. It's always them. Always them.
Yep. It's always hyper religious. It's
Those
crazy how you can feel like you're so safe behind religion.
Right? Because we had when I was really religious, we had a youth leader. I always liked him. He was super chill, and he like put on really cool events. But like probably 3 years after I like stopped going to the youth group, so I grew out of it. or aged out of it. He was caught like texting. I think the girl was like 14. He was like 35 and married. And instead of like uh, telling the police, they convinced the girl's family and the girl not to press charges. And they sent him off to a different church to run a different youth program 2 states away.
That is exactly what happened at the church I went to.
The fucking tale as old as, as old as time.
Yeah. Like,
Jesus Christ.
and like, I never went to church because I was like super religious. I went to church because I hated my home and I wanted to get away. I went like 3 times a week because that they would say yes to that. And the music was good.
Oh yeah, Christian music, that shit slaps.
Yeah. And they always have like a cute bass player.
Like the emo hair.
Yeah, or the drums. It's like,
Oh god, yeah.
yeah.
You're like, drum me, daddy.
I mean, it's a native thing, I think. Start playing those drums.
Well,
Speaks to my
everybody,
soul.
everybody, have a great week and don't forget to pro me, daddy.
Those are great last words. Bye.